All right, everybody. Well, welcome to this very special session of the Great Discoveries. This is our global speaker training summit, and thank you for joining in. This is going to be a great day that we've got laid out for you. We've got more people that'll be coming in. This is a 3-hour session, a 3-hour cruise, kind of like the Gilligan's Island thing, if you guys remember that. But there's no holes in the side of this boat. So we're going to make it just fine. We're going to skip all that fun today. But if you're on here for the first time, the Great Discovery is a global education marketplace. What we do is we empower people worldwide with knowledge. We've created probably the most significant shift in educational and e-learning that's ever occurred. We're doing things that completely creates an entirely new category, enabling people to reach literally around the world in 120 languages on demand at no cost to the creator or the learner. We're able to do live Zooms two-way with voice translation. In fact, if you logged in through the Great Discovery site today, you'll be able to experience that. So with that, I'm going to let Sandra do a quick intro for people that are coming in that do want to use the live voice translation. You'll be able to show you how to use that. We might do another pop-up during the day as we go along. And then we're going to walk a little bit through the agenda. We've got an exciting lineup here for you today. And Sandra, let's see how we can use that live Zoom translation.
Well, I can certainly do that. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. As Tim said, we've got some really great stuff happening today here. Great speakers, great information. So I want to show you all how to use, if you are coming in and you speak a different language than English, all of our speakers will be speaking English today. But if you come into the event on the live events tab on the website, come in through here, and you need to be on Chrome. You can see that I'm on the Chrome browser. And so the other thing is you're going to come here. When you go and you join the event, you're going to log into the event. This is our live language translator, and this is information on how to load it. It's also back on the original page. It's on the side right there. But if you already loaded this, you can click this bottom button and it will just go away. If you have not, there's a video here that shows you how to load it to your browser. You can pop open that video and it'll show you how to load it. It's a Chrome extension. It's very simple and it's free. No, you don't need to use it. Now, if anyone is on the platform today and you are not on the Great Discovery, you do not have an account with us in our AI Genius Club, that's how you get the tool for free. You can log in using info@thegreatdiscovery.com. So I'm going to say no here because I already have mine loaded, but you'll just watch the video. Now, also, when you come to the Zoom page, you're going to see that the information is here again. Click here to install a live language translation tool. Here's the video again. So we've got it on the first page. We've got it in between to give you another chance. And we have it here. If you get all the way here and realize, gosh darn it, I didn't load it, I need to go grab it, it's right here too. So to use that, what it's going to do is it's going to put this little icon on your Chrome browser. Once you get it loaded, you're going to come in, and I will log out real quick so I can show you. You're going to come in and you're going to log in. So you're going to use, if you're a member of the AI Genius Club for the Great Discovery, you're going to use your email that's on your account. If you do not have an account and you're a guest, you can use info@thegreatdiscovery.com, and I'll put that in a chat in a minute here. And let's just log in. There we go. Now, say that you are Spanish speaking and you don't understand English. It's not your first language. So what I can do is, as the speaker speaking through the Zoom embed in Chrome, I can say, take it from English. If they are speaking in English, I can type today, goodness. And they're speaking in English and I want to hear it in Spanish, okay? Then all you do is when the speaker starts to speak, you press this button and the translator will start. Now, it's not going to do anything because I'm speaking into this Zoom, not into this Zoom here, but it will start and it will also come up with a closed caption recording for you also, so you can read it also as they're speaking. To stop it, you stop it here. If you want to go from any other language, you can see there's a whole list of languages here. You can go down and see how many there are. So if you are not English speaking and you want to translate today, that is exactly how you do it. Okay. All right, Tim, with that, I'll hand it back over to you.
Okay, well, thanks very much. And I'm going to go up and do a quick screen share and walk a little bit through our agenda on this exciting event that we've got here today. Starting at 12:15, we're going to be doing a live session with Erin Loman Jeck. She's going to be coming up next. She's a TEDx coach. She's renowned for it, one of the best that there are, a global influence strategist. And yes, she's the woman that can actually help you land a guaranteed TEDx spot in Italy in November of this year. If that's for you, you want to dial in and learn from Erin. She's going to be covering how to find your message that moves people to act and how to package your life experience into 10 minutes of unforgettable impact. You got some time on the stage, and it all comes down to empowering that person, getting your message across, and getting the conversion that you want, whether that's a conversion in life improvement or a conversion in a sale for you or a combination of both is the best solution. It all comes down to listening to what Erin's going to be sharing you today. It's going to also show you how to take your voice from local to global. And I'm going to be tying into that a little bit more later in the day, and how you actually can secure your place on that TEDx stage in Italy. Now, Erin is also going to be giving away, of course. Thank you very much, Erin. This is a masterclass on landing your TEDx talk. And that's going to be a gift for everyone that goes and attends this session coming up today. At 1:20, we've got a personal development motivation session with Jim Britt. He is the author of Cracking the Rich Code, one of his many books, 15 of them that he's got. Most of them he's putting up in audio form on the Great Discovery platform so they can get out global in 200 countries and territories. But Jim is recognized as literally one of the top 50 speakers worldwide. That's worldwide. That is a big stage and millions of speakers out there. Top 50, I'd say he's accomplished some things. So I'd encourage you to tune in for Jim. It's coming up in the second hour, about halfway through. We'll be getting through there. And every attendee in Jim's session is going to get a free complimentary ebook, Rings of Truth. That's just a true story that will invigorate your mind, open your heart, and touch your soul. Now, right after that, we've got a secondary breakout session. And that breakout session is going to be one where I encourage each of us to share a little bit of your challenges and your breakthroughs. We've got a 15-minute breakout session. Don't take too long, but take a minute or so to cover that and learn and share. This is what really collaboration is all about, and building those relationships. You're going to get some nuggets from people that have breakthroughs and some synergy with others that are going through the same struggles that you are as well. Coming up after that, towards the last hour of the day, I'm going to be going on and doing a session on the Great Discovery and how to expand your reach and influence and get your reach out to motivated buyers in nearly every country and language in the world. Moreover, you're going to learn how to be more effective with your business by doing much less work. We're going to show you some automations and things that you can apply today and completely streamline. If you're not using some of these automations, you're not going to be able to compete in the new economy that we're moving into. Like it or hate it, you need to adapt, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that all for free. So at the end of the day, we're going to be going into a closing session where we've got Q&A. So if you've got, you can hit some of your Q&A with any of the speakers that happen to be in your breakout rooms, but save them up. We can go through and we'll stay as long as anybody has any questions at the end. Our session does end 3 hours from the start. And I'd encourage you to stay and enjoy as much of it as you can. Grab some notes. This replay will be available on YouTube as well as the Great Discovery site. And each session will be broken out for downloading and sharing a little bit later. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to our very first speaker for today. As I mentioned, Erin Loman Jeck, she's become a great friend. She is absolutely a mentor of mine and so many other speakers that are out there. Absolutely fabulous. Some of the tips that I've learned just sitting on her freebie sessions are mind-blowing. They've completely transformed the way that our entire network grows. And for that, I thank you in advance. And Erin, I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. Let's spotlight Erin, Sandra, and let's get this party up and started. Thank you, Erin. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. You guys, you are such in for such a treat. Tim and Sandra put together such an amazing lineup and an amazing platform. The minute I saw it, I was like, I'm all in. So I started really beginning, like one of the founding people that started this whole thing. And they were kind enough to invite me to speak on the very first launch that we had in Orlando, and it was amazing. And so we've just kind of built a friendship out of this, but at the same time, we're building business relationships and making sure that this platform really gets the notification, the notice that it needs to get, because there's so many things out there that I've used in the past, still paying for. And I took all of my stuff and put it onto this platform. And so I'm super excited to have you all here. And I want to jump into what your global message could be. Now, if you've thought about doing a TEDx, I want you to put a Y in the chat. And if you haven't yet, I want you to put an N in the chat. I want to see how many people. I know Renee. Renee is definitely, you're on my list of people to reach out to. But you're here, so it's great. So yes, okay. That's okay if you haven't, not a big deal, because some of the things I'm going to teach you is what you're going to need to be able to do to communicate, to speak anywhere, whether your audience is one-to-one or one-to-many. But this is going to be an opportunity for you to understand how to communicate effectively, to know how to commit, to connect with somebody deeply, and to go in and actually be the solution to their problems. How many of you know you have a solution to someone's problem? Yep, there we go. Got some hands in the air. You know it, but are you the biggest, best kept secret? Are you out there on global stages? Or do you have thousands of people lining up for your content, your courses, your challenges, your events? Well, I'm going to tell you how, when you get out there, you can get more exposure globally on any stage, but more particular the TEDx stage and this platform as well. Both TEDx and the Great Discovery are the biggest global platforms you can get on to have a global impact. I mean, I always wanted to impact the globe, and I was like, I don't know how I can do that. I can't speak that many languages. I only have 2 in my repertoire, and Spanish is, it's not that full. I'm in a kitchen, I'm good, because I used to work in a Mexican restaurant for 7 years. But other than that, like, I didn't have the ability to do that. But I want you to stop being the best kept secret. If you seriously know that you have a message that could change the world, the solution to someone's problems, don't keep it to yourself. If I handed you the cure to cancer, would you just keep it quiet? Would you not get out there? Would you not speak up about it? Would you not try to get out on global platforms and global stages to be able to share? You would, wouldn't you? So why is it that we're so nervous about whatever content or whatever knowledge and experience that we have? We're still becoming the best kept secrets. So I want to show you how you can get seen with more visibility and be able to give your solution away to the world. So I'm going to jump in here and share some slides with you today. If I can find my slides. And lately I've had issues with sharing my screen. So let's see. Oh, yay, it works. All right, now I'm going to close out all the little boxes so I don't have all these in the way. Okay, so let's go. And all right. So I will tell you a little bit of my background. I went to school to be a therapist. So all of my background was really put into how do I serve people? How do I help people? I knew that I wanted to help more people. You know, growing up, I lost my dad at 10, my mom almost at 15. And then I was like, starting to be the one person that everyone came to with their problems, because in high school, everyone knew I was struggling with, thinking I was going to be an orphan. And so for me, I knew that I had more tools than most teenagers. Now, I didn't get along with most teenagers because most of them were talking about who they liked or passed a note or somebody, did something that somebody kissed somebody in the hallway or whatever. But for me, I was facing my mother's death. I was really struggling with knowing how life was short. And it was the time where my friends leaned into me. So I knew I had something more. And that's when I started to think, how can I serve people in a bigger way? Now, I will be honest, I dropped out 12 credits from my master's, and it was only because I was like, everyone keeps coming and complaining and not changing. What is this? I don't understand. And the teachers and professors kept saying to me, it's job security. They'll keep coming and coming back and coming back. And I thought, I don't want to serve the same 10 people for the rest of my life. I want to serve in a big way. And they were like, that's not what we do here. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out. So that's when I started to become a coach. I've been coaching sports since I was 14. I went all the way to the college level. So coach really fit for me. And so when I started doing that, I only started as a business coach. But when I started speaking everywhere, people were like, oh my gosh, how do you do what you do? I want to get on stages. I want to be more visible. I have so much to give to the world. And I was like, well, I don't know. How am I doing this? And so for me, I had to like reverse engineer. How was I doing this? I was never, a singer, an actor. I did dance on stages since I was 2. So that gave me some stage presence. But really, all I was taught was just to smile. And this isn't what speakers do. Some of you might. And you keep the same face the entire time you're speaking because you think that you're being relatable. But I will tell you, that's performance. If I said that my dad died when I was 10 and I'm smiling, you're not going to connect with me. It's not the same. So I'm going to break down some of the major parts of what you need to know on speaking in any stage, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's on a video that you're posting on social media. Any of this stuff will be relevant to what you're doing, but especially on the TEDx stage. All right. So what makes this different is I've been a TEDx speaking coach. I've been a TEDx on this TEDx screening committee. I've been the ones that are choosing the people that are speaking. And I've been now a TEDx speaker. I hadn't figured out what my love letter to humanity was. And by the time we're done, I'm going to help you figure out what yours is. But I didn't know what mine was. I'd been coaching people for years on this stage and just figured that was enough for me. And so what makes this different is now that I have done it, I really understand what it takes to go from idea to standing ovation. And so that's what we're going to do. And to give you a little secret, I have a 99% success rate of landing a TED Talk because I know what they're looking for, right? I was on that team. So I'm going to tell you everything you need in order to do that. And every time people come in, my little screen goes up. All right. So I've coached hundreds of people, probably thousands by now. I don't even keep count, but I love being able to dive deep into these ideas that I would never be able to share. I knew I had a message I want to change the world with, but I knew that just my voice and my message wouldn't serve everyone. So I have the beautiful opportunity and the gift to help other people share their amazing visions and missions with the world. And that's what excites me every day. And then when I make people like us, with servants' hearts, a lot of money, we fund nonprofits and charities, and wells are built, schools are built. That's the other piece that I just love about what I do, because it is about sustaining your message, making money doing it so that you can give back in bigger ways. So I've been hired by 20 plus organizers, and now I have a real direct connection to being the only one on the screening committee, and the only coach that is going to be coaching on the TEDx Alterano in Florence, Italy on November 7th. All right. So after doing this for years, what I've discovered is the fastest path to speaking, or the fastest path to cash, is speaking. If you're not on stage, you're a best kept secret. And you don't have to make this elaborate thing. You just need to get out there. And it's the easiest way when you have multiple people in the room. What are your odds of getting one person that's interested? And that's what we're talking about. So you want to get on the stage. But I will tell you, most speakers do not know how to make more than 60 grand a year. And that makes me want to choke. We deserve better than that. And it's because maybe you don't have the things in place. Maybe you don't have a speaker funnel. Well, I will tell you, on the Great Discovery, you can create your own speaker funnel so that when you're on a stage sharing your message, you then enroll them into your freebies, into the next steps of working with you, building the know, like, and trust. You can't build enough know, like, and trust in a 20-minute talk. You can't build enough know, like, and trust enough in a 60-minute talk. You can, but what I'm going to tell you is there is a actual conversion ratio. How long you're speaking, how long you are getting getting in front of and connecting with someone, how much you can actually pitch. And most of you guys don't know that. Well, in some of my courses, I teach that. It's definitely something that I have figured out, and I know exactly where you are, what you can sell from any stage. But any stage, you can give away something for free. You can give away your free course on the Great Discovery and continue to make sleep coin. Money while you're sleeping. I love making money while I sleep, or when I go to the spa. That's also one of my favorite things. But there is an easy formula to follow in order for you to continue to make money on those stages and get people to pay you while you sleep. Now, I've discovered this the hard way. It took me a lot of bumps and bruises and scrapes on the knees. Trust me. I remember facing eviction because I didn't know how to get my business out there in front of other people. I remember putting my head on a steering wheel going, why is no one converting? Why is no one buying from me? Why is no one hiring me? And it was in that moment I was like, I'm never going to let somebody else who has a servant's heart with a message and a solution to feel that way. So here's what most people struggle with. They don't master the communication. They don't get feedback. And they don't even master the application. And in an application for TEDx, it's definitely different than anywhere else. It is one of the most hard to crack codes unless you've done it and you've been in it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And not all results are typical. Let me just tell you, there are going to be people who literally are sitting here watching this and will take action. There'll be a lot of you that don't. And that's okay. That's up to you. But you're doing the world a disservice by not sharing your message. So here's the 4 secrets to landing your application. First, you need to know what you need to apply, what to say in your application, and how to master the stage when you do get it, and then how to go viral. I'm sure a lot of you want to break the code on how to go viral. Well, I have that. Brene Brown imparted to me how she made her TEDx go viral. So I'm going to share that with you today. So here's what you need to know to apply for a TEDx. You need an application transfer sheet. So this is what I've created. I've taken all the top questions that have ever been asked on all the applications that I've ever seen. And I've created a form where you fill it out so that when you go and you're starting to look for where you want to speak, you could just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. You're going to need a 1 to 2 minute video. Now you're going to need one of each because some people are going to ask you for under 60 seconds and you need to be under the 60 seconds. And some are going to ask for your 2 minute. And you want to make sure that you're not over the 2 minutes. So you have both. So if they ask for a 1 minute, now every once in a while they ask for a 3 minute, but just send them your 2 minute. Don't worry about creating a new one. You don't have more to say. If you are very specific in your 2 minute, why you, why now? So why am I the expert? Why is my topic worthy? And why is it now relevant to the world? That's the most important thing. That should be in all of your, even your viral, your videos that you do on social media. Why you are the expert and why now this is your content important. Some are going to ask for a CV, especially if you're in Europe and in other countries, you're going to get they're going to ask for a CV, or if you're applying for a TEDx university. That's one of the other ones. But one of the most important things that most TEDx speakers don't teach, most of them teach you to just go out and apply everywhere. Well, I will tell you, you will be blacklisted if you continue to do that because they do talk. They meet up a couple times a year. And if they're talking about people who just keep blasting them, you could get out there. But what if instead of just trying to spray and pray, what if you actually got really, really specific on what you wanted and really smart on your application? That's what's going to help you. But they always want, how are you connected to their community? How do you know what the heartbeat is of that community? You need to be able to have that. Now, some like the one in Florence, he doesn't care. He's bringing more American speakers over there because he knows that his platform and his video quality, his audio quality is top notch. Ted's been awarding him for a while. And he knows that if he gets more English speaking people, there's more of opportunity for those to go viral. And so you want to be connected, but in some of them, they're okay that if you're not connected to the community, which is also pretty cool. So what do you need to say in your application? So some of the questions that you're going to need, you need a 2 to 3 sentence that captivates them. Why is this so important to the world? What is it? Why is your idea different than anything else that's out there? Now you should do your research and make sure that you're not saying something that someone's already said, right? If you try to do something on vulnerability, it's already been done and she's got 12 billion views. I don't even know anymore. But if you did that, they wouldn't accept you because it's already been done. Now, if you said what Brene Brown said was wrong, and that's your TEDx, then you probably could get on there because they know that you could pull some of her audience over. The one thing that you never lead with in your application is you are not a speaker. Even if you've spoken on all the stages in the world, I've spoken with the top speakers in the world on the stages, shared the stages, spoken for thousands. I never led with being a speaker. They don't want speakers. Speakers have been trying to get on these stages for years and they're just tired of it because they feel like all they're doing is just using it as a platform to sell their stuff. And you're not allowed to sell or promote. So there's a whole other gamut of things that you're not allowed to do. And there's a lot of rules, which I know very well. Some of the speakers that when I spoke on May 4th, I had 6 of my clients with me. All of our talks were the top speakers because I also know what it takes, what it's supposed to be in there, how to do it right. So there were so many people that didn't remember what they were going to say. I had to feed their lines to them on stage because I was standing on the side of the stage helping. There were people who took note cards. Can't take note cards. You will not be allowed on the TED.com platform if you have note cards. Some people left their branding on there. Can't do that. It's promotional. So there's a lot of things that you need to make sure that you're not doing. But one of the best things you got to do is come up with a thumb-stopping title. Now, the beautiful thing is we have AI, and on the Great Discovery, we have a whole AI platform which can help you. But you want something that stops people from scrolling. Oh, what is this? Right? And sometimes you want to think of something that's counterintuitive. Now, mine was live life like you're dying, starting now. And it really was about living life to the fullest and how I see the world differently because my dad died when I was 10. My mom had malignant melanoma when I was 15 and was sentenced to 18 months to live. My mother-in-law died of COVID and my brother-in-law died of COVID. My mom, my dad, and my brother-in-law were 39. It's way too young. The people run around the world think you have plenty of time, but we don't. You also want a rock star bio. That doesn't lead into the speaking, but you want to showcase all of the other things you've done. What accomplishments have you a book? They love authors. Do you have a book? Have you gotten awards? Whatever else you have in there, what kind of experience do you have? Let that lead. Now, when we're talking about thumb scrolling titles, look at this one. The Silent Baby Killer. Ooh, makes you stop in your tracks. What is she going to talk about? Well, she wrote a documentary on postpartum depression with Brooke Shields. And so she was sharing about how she had 5 of the 7 different stages of postpartum depression. But when you see the silent baby killer, you're like, I need to know what this is, right? I had another client that said, spend money to get out of debt. He was teaching you how when you spend money, you can get out of debt. But you'd want to know, right? One of my other clients was how I was almost a high school shooter. Made you want to stop and read. So that's what you want to think about when you think about a thumb scrolling title. And you want to learn how to master the stage. Now, this is the most important part. You want to give the best talk of your life because it is out there for the world forever. It's not a video you can take down. All right. So I have a lot of people that come to me afterwards and say, I wish I would have hired you. I knew I should have. And I just was like, oh, I got this. I speak all the time. If you speak all the time, it does not mean you know how to master that stage and really, really connect to that global platform. But I'm going to teach you some of the best things you need to learn. So nonverbal communication is number 1. Vocal tonality, storytelling, the words that you choose. So many of you guys are struggling. Well, I wouldn't know what to say. But I will tell you, nobody really cares about what you say. They care about how you make them feel. Now write that one down. Not what you say, it's how you make them feel. So I'm going to show you how you can do that because the words really don't matter that much. 50% of what the audience is taking in is your nonverbal communication. When we got on here, if I would be like, hi, I'm Erin. I know Tim just explained that I'm a rock star and I do all these amazing things, but yeah, I'm kind of insecure. And people are like, whoa, what just happened? What the bio that Tim just read or said about Erin and then how she's showing up, it doesn't align. And when you don't align and people are confused mind says no. So guess what? While you're speaking, they're scrolling. So you have to be very good in your nonverbal communication. And there are some of people that you guys don't even know what you're doing that is keeping the audience away from you, and you have no idea. Because it's these subtle nuances that you do to self-soothe yourself. How many of you get nervous when speaking in front of people? It's normal. It's the top fear in the world, speaking in front of people. But what I will tell you is your body sends all these chemicals because you're scared, and and if you can reframe that and say, well, I'm actually excited to share my message, you can change your mind from sending, oh my gosh, the scary chemicals, there's a lion on the stage. You can override that. I have breathing techniques that help you do that. I have some deep NLP work that I can help remove that. But what I will tell you is you will do things subconsciously, like protect your body. How many people see people speak with papers in front of them? Think of this. Every single politician, what do they stand behind? A podium. Do you know why? Because our body doesn't lie. They are betraying their body by telling us lies. So they hold onto the podium so that they don't do things that are tales that they're not telling you the truth. Think about that next time you watch some of the political debates or speeches even. Oops. So here's a couple of things that people do when they're on stage. But this blocks the energy from the audience. You're no longer connected. You're like, I'm protecting me. I'm going to hide myself. I'm going to play small. Women, we put our hands over our uterus thinking that that's, thing. But when you do that, you look like you're a 5-year-old. Daddy, can I have a cookie? We need to stand confidently. We need to address the audience where, hey, I'm your leader. Let me take you to the solution. These are some of the things you might be doing that you don't know you're doing. Now, the second part is 30% is your vocal tonality. I knew nothing about this until I hired Roger Love, the top speaking coach in the world, and he mentored me on how to be a vocal coach, because I was like, I have no idea. I've never been a singer. I don't know anything about voice, but I will tell you, if it's 30%, you probably should know something about it. So here's how you become memorable in your speaking. Pitch. This is how high or how low you go in your speaking. Now, if you don't know your range, I do have vocal warm-ups that teach you how to do that so that you can kind of figure out what your range is. Let me tell you, the higher your range is that you lose credibility. When you have a really high voice like this, you sound uncertain and maybe anxious and nervous and unconfident in what you're saying. But when you go into your chest voice, you sound authoritative. You sound like you know what you're talking about. And that is a major part of what we need to do. Now, what I will tell you, women, is this hi-hat voice doesn't get men to do anything, and they tune you out. You have to speak from your middle voice or your chest voice, not your head voice, to be heard by men. All right? But most of us are all monotone. The only time we're not is if the puppy walks in. Oh my God, we go really high in our voice. And then we're like, hey, sit, when we want it to sit, right? That's the only time we're actually working on our tonality. This is important, people, because you might be losing the audience because you're not speaking to them and for them. Now, the second thing is pace. How fast or how slow you go. When there's something important, I slow down, because everybody is 3 to 5 words behind you. All right. So you want to make sure that you slow down, elongate your vowels when you want to be memorable, so that people can catch up and go, oh, that was important. I need to take notes on that. I need to pay attention. We learn this in school, ladies and gentlemen. We learn this from teachers. You just didn't know it. Now, your tone is how much air you use. Now, Marilyn Monroe wouldn't have been taken serious in a boardroom, maybe the bedroom, but not the boardroom, because too much air takes away your credibility. And now I know some of you who may be yoga instructors, meditation teachers, they use this airy voice, but I will tell you, no one will ever take you seriously. You can use that when you're teaching, but you got to change it up. You got to have different things. You got to control your airflow. You have diaphragmatic breathing, all the things that are so important. And now my favorite is volume. Now, the beautiful thing about volume is there's times where I'm getting louder, and then there's times where I'm getting a little quieter. Now, when I project my voice, and this can be in a room full of people, this can be with a microphone, without a microphone. Always use a microphone because you'll ruin your voice. But if you're doing that right now, my sound waves are coming through your speakers in your computer. You're hearing the sound waves. It's coming at you, and all of a sudden it's kind of hitting your body. And what happens is your brain goes, ooh, what's happening? I feel this vibration. What is this? Oh, wait, what am I doing? Oh, I'm listening to this woman, Erin Loman Jeck, who's an expert. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm resonating with her. So your brain makes this assumption that you're resonating with somebody because the tone, the sound waves are hitting their body, and the brain made the excuse that you're resonating. So if you want to resonate with audiences, you need to use more volume to project so they feel you. Again, it's how you make them feel, not what you say. The other thing is using all of these actually unlocks the episodic part of someone's memory. We learned our ABCs by singing, and singing is just pulling the words out longer, right? So you are becoming memorable when you use pitch, pace, tone, volume, because we love melody. We turn on the radio, we can blast out a song we haven't heard in 20 years, and we know every single lyric. But you might not remember what you had for breakfast. This is because melody opens that part of their brain. So if you want to be memorable, you got to master your tonality. 13% is your storytelling. So storytelling, this is how we've gotten along for eons of time, right? Mary ate the red berries. Don't eat the red berries because Mary died. We have stories in hieroglyphics, trying to tell stories of people, of our experiences, of our life. Now, the most important thing in our story is most people tell me all the details. I got up, I ate breakfast, I brushed my teeth, I went to the bathroom, I got dressed, and I drove to work. I don't need those details. That's me, I. When we talk about my very first speaking engagement, standing room only, I was 10. I was scared to death that I wouldn't be able to get the words out. I was feeling so nervous, hands shaking, lump in my throat. Today, we're here to celebrate Bob Loman. You see, my first speaking engagement was my daddy's funeral. But it was the day that I realized that my story, the stories of my dad, were his legacy. I wanted to share with the world how amazing my father was, and I got to. And there wasn't a dry eye in the room when I was done. Now, what I just walked through was what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and the physical experiences, that lump in my throat, my hands shaking. We've all, if you've never spoken at a funeral, or been at a funeral and no one's ever died, even if you have no experience with death, you know what some of those things are. You know what it feels like to be scared. You know what it feels like to think, I don't know if I can get through this. And you know what it feels like to have the lump in your throat. So now you connected with my story, not because of my daddy's funeral, but because of the thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Human connection. So maybe you're not telling your story right. Maybe it's time to switch it up, to deeply connect with the audience. Now, here's what I always say is what you want to create in your TEDx talk. This is kind of the story flow that I've created to help people do that. But you're going to get a copy of this in the free part, so I'm not going to go into it too deep. I, just recently helped the founder of North Face, someone who'd been speaking for 20 years, was a professor at UCLA, and he thought he was good. But when he hired me, he was like, I did not know these things. I wish I would have met you sooner because, gosh, I wish I could have had that because it would have made me more unstoppable. Now, 7% is the words. This is where I want you to think. Neuro-linguistic programming, which is speaking to the unconscious part of someone's memory. Now, here's also the other thing you got to take into consideration. When you're on that stage, you better use words that help the visual people in the room. Okay? You better help the people that are auditory learners because you're teaching. And then the kinesthetic, they want to feel it, touch it, grasp it. These are words you can use in your speaking so that every single one of these learning and internal representations of how people take in information are being addressed. So now everyone feels like you're speaking their language, and that's important. It is so important for people to feel like they're being heard. So going viral, this is where you want to build your marketing team. This is where I help. When now that I'm with the TEDx people we were on, we all have a team and we're all going to support each other and we're all going to take a day. We each get a day and we're all going to support each other's videos going viral. Everyone's going to do that. And I also have a team of people that do that. And I have a Facebook group where everyone gets to be invited that works with me to be in that group. There's over 100 people that will also share your videos when it goes viral. You could do interviews, press interviews. This is the way I can help people get 40,000 views in the first couple of weeks, asking other people to share your message. It's important. Here's Amy. She didn't know if she wanted to take the stage. We got her to talk on single-use plastics. That's why she has a plastic bottle in her hand. And she was easily able to, from this, get 275,000 views. I mean, who doesn't want an audience of 275? I'm just saying. She landed a $150,000 deal with a Chinese investor that was in the audience and landed 150 talk invites from just that stage and her video. Think about how you might be the best kept secret and now you're not. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. I want you to close your eyes. And if you don't want to be on screen with your eyes closed, you can turn it off. But I'm going to help you. I told you at the beginning I was going to help you. If you didn't know what it was you wanted to share, I'm going to help you. So close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that I'm miking you up on the back of that stage. And I tell you that there's 1 million people in that audience. And they're all here to hear you. They drove, they flew, they did everything to get here to just hear you and what you had to say. And as you hear them out there rustling and bustling, getting in their seats, being ready for you to walk out on that stage, feel what it would feel like to know that there's 1 million people about to receive your message. It's true. TED and the Great Discovery can make that happen for you. And as you walk on the stage, I tell you, you have 10 minutes. But this is the last 10 minutes that you're on the planet. Oof. What would you really want to say? What does the world need to know because you were here? Because you experienced it, because you went through it, because you have the solution to someone's problem. And you don't want to take it with you. You want to impart it to the world. This is your love letter to humanity. What would you want to say? Step out on that stage and envision what you would say. I'm going to give you a minute to just soak that in, to figure out what it would be for you. All right, now I want you to imagine they all give you a standing ovation, and I want you to take it in. I want you to feel it, because you have to see it, to feel it, to be able to create it in the world. So take it in. Standing ovation. Everyone was so excited to hear you. And you hear, thank you, thank you. And as you walk back behind the curtain and the curtain closes, I want you to come back into the room, back into your body. Take a minute if you want, write it down so that you don't lose it, because that's an important message. But I also want to give you the gift. So I went over some very fast things about landing and nailing it. But in my TEDx Masterclass, I show you where to apply, how to apply, where to look, all of the things you need that you would want to be able to start applying. But I also want you to know that I do have guaranteed 20 spots in TEDx Toronto in Florence, Italy on November 7th. And if you want one of those spots, I'm going to put some of my contact information in there. There is an investment, but I will tell you, maybe this is the moment that you take that message that you just heard, your love letter to humanity, and take it out there to the world. Because the world is crying out for more leaders like you and me to step out of obscurity and indivisibility to provide them with the solutions. So thank you. Stop sharing. All right. Tim, over to you.
Well, that got me by surprise. You had a little bit more time left if you wanted to go there, but we can go ahead and we'll jump into breakout rooms. But here's an idea. Erin, why don't you give out, we're going to break into breakout rooms of about 12 people each. And what we can do is, why don't you give us a couple of talking points, Erin?
Yeah.
Based on some of the things that you talked about in the breakout rooms. These are fully translatable. If anybody's in from other countries, you're able to listen in your own native language. I hope you know how to use that if you're on Chrome. And at the same time, make some contacts, make some friends, share a little bit, get engaged. That's what networking is all about. So what's the topics for these sessions?
Yeah. All right. So I'd love for you to talk about, and how many minutes are we giving each person? We're doing 10 minutes
We've got a 15-minute, actually, we've got a 20-minute breakout session at this point because you cut off short. It's the first time I've seen a short-winded, Erin. So there we have it.
Well, I wanted to give more, when I looked at 50 minutes and I was like, I wanted to make sure I could get it all in there and be able to give people an opportunity to really maybe dive into what that message was. Like for me, it took me a long time to figure out what that message was. I didn't want to talk about speaking. I didn't want to talk about business or making money. I was like, what is my love letter to humanity? What is my last 10 minutes? And that's when I created mine. So what I'd love for you to do is, what was it that came to you? And it might be something you not even thinking about that you'd ever speak on, right? Go in and I want you to share what came for you. What are some of the solutions you have for people? And come up with maybe, that would be my love letter to humanity would be. So I'd love for, when you're in this group, think about what came to you when you were on when you had that 10 minutes, and what is the solution you have to people's problems. Share that amongst each other. This is a beautiful time if somebody else has a solution that could partner with you. Like, hey, I have a lady that is teaching me how to take videos and do actual marketing, not just the organic marketing I taught you, but to make it go to at least 1 million views. So she's a great partner of mine, but I met her because she saw my invitation in a room like this. So find people that maybe you could partner with. Maybe there's some things you can collab on. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to get to know other people and find other people's solutions. And maybe, possibly, that somebody in your room needs your solution. So share those amongst each other.
Okay, great, Erin. And we're gonna give away a free course of Erin's. It's online. It's about how to do your TEDx talk. And so we're going to put that link. Sandra's going to drop it into the chat. I'd encourage you to claim that, take advantage of it, take that knowledge home. It's free. How can you go wrong there? And follow up with Erin if you need any more assistance. Hey, the Great Discoverer will lead you right to her, I promise. So we will go from there. We're going to get over to our next speaker. I think you guys are in for a special treat. You're going to want to take some notes with this next gentleman that's coming up. Sandra, you may need to set Jim Britt up as a co-host, so we can do that and get him up and spotlighted. But our next speaker is a good friend of mine. We met, I'd be 30 years ago, across a boardroom table, and with one of our mutual clients, or soon-to-be clients. And Jim was introduced even back then as a legend. He was the guy that commanded the room. He would come in, and the people would go, "Oh my gosh, is that Jim Britt?" It's like, wow. And I was kind of taken aback. Wow, this guy's really kind of super duper, and got to know him a little bit more over the years. And then we just went different directions for a while, and we recently came back together and on a couple of things. And Jim is probably one of the most legendary teachers that I know of in the area of personal development and peak performance and breaking through things. It's written 15 different books. Many of them fit the bestseller list. Rings of Truth is one that is a giveaway that he's given out to everybody that's here. So if you're on here, at the end of his session, you're going to get a free giveaway book by Jim. But I'm not going to take any more of his thunder. I just want to bring him up, and I'm going to sit back and take some notes on it. Listen in. Mr. Jim Britt, you want to come on up?
Hey, Tim, how are you? Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, I got to find you on here so we can get you spotlighted. Our spotlighter is apparently having coffee.
There beside James Penny.
There we go.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. I remember way back. That has been about 30 years ago. Wow, time flies, doesn't it? And lucky for Facebook, saw your picture up there a few months ago and said, "Hey, what are you up to?" And he said, "Hey, we need to talk." So we kind of merged back together here. So it's great to be a part of this, and excited about what the Great Discovery has and what it offers for people. To excited about using it myself. I'm just really getting into it now. So, I was sitting this morning thinking about what I wanted to share today, and I was thinking back. I joined up. Well, my background, I dropped out of high school halfway through the 10th grade. I pumped gas for about a year and a half. Thought that was maybe my job that I was going to have for the rest of my life. I didn't know. I thought I was the best gas station attendant around. Got married at 18, my first child about a year later. Graduated to my dream job, which was working in a factory on an assembly line. Worked there for a few years. And I got introduced to a direct sales company one night. And the fella asked me to go, and he said, something we could make some extra money doing. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, I have no idea. He said, they just told me to bring somebody. And I said, well, I'm not your guy. I said, I'm not going to something I don't even know what it is. And he said, oh, come on, man. He said, if you come with me, I'll buy the beer afterwards. And I said, what time's the meeting? So I really went for the beer, not for the meeting. And got excited that night. I saw something that I'd never seen before, and I kept telling myself, I can do this. I can do this. This looks easy. I can do this. And long story short, I ended up signing up in that company. I had to invest $4,000. I had $9 in the bank. I ended up going to 23 banks and loan companies before the final one, which I think was a loan shark, loaned me the $4,000. And got started. And the person that introduced me said, I said, what am I supposed to do? And he said, your job is talking to people. And back then, we didn't have internet or social media or anything. So I had to go out physically meet people. And I said, well, how many people am I supposed to talk to? And he said, well, if you talk a lot, you'll earn a lot. And I said, well, how much is a lot? And he said, 10 a day. I said, okay. So I quit my job, went full time at it, and talked to 10 a day for a year. And at the end of the year, I had made one sale. So I guess you could say I wasn't a very good salesperson, but I was missing a little bit. And somebody spent some time with me. Well, first of all, I was standing in the kitchen, looking out the window, and I had lost everything. My home had been foreclosed. I had 5 days from living on the street. Both of my vehicles had been repoed. I sold to live. I sold my boat, my camper, my pickup, my fishing equipment, my guns, everything that I held dear back then. I sold it all. And here I am with a wife and a child, 15 cents in my pocket, and no way to earn money and no food in the house. And over the next 24 hours, a series of miracles took place. And why it took place, I believe. I'm standing there in the kitchen. I'm going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was kind of lost. I knew I couldn't just continue talking to people and getting no results. And I decided not to quit. And looking back, I have no idea why I decided that, but I think it's because I had no way to turn. I had no car to drive. I couldn't get back to the factory if I wanted to go work there. And so I decided not to quit. And a series of miracles literally took place. And I ended up having a car to drive, a 3-bedroom furnished apartment, another opportunity presented to me outside of the direct sales industry. That opportunity came from the one sale that I made. And I ended up making over $500,000 the next 12 months from that opportunity. And during that same 24 hours, somebody from the company, a corporate guy from the company, showed up at my door because my phone had been disconnected. He couldn't call me, and sat with me for 2 hours and taught me what I was doing wrong. And I kept talking to 10 people a day while I was involved in the other opportunity. And my direct sales business took off like a rocket, earned me almost $500,000 over the next 12 months. So I went from 15 cents to millionaire because I didn't quit. Now, looking back at that, I was thinking back at this morning. I thought, what did I do to make a difference? What did I do to go from nothing and make all of this work? And I came up with 7 key traits that I think if you apply these things, you cannot not be successful at whatever it is you want to do. It could apply to your personal life or your business life or your financial life. It doesn't matter. 7 key traits. And interesting, I interviewed 12 mega millionaires and 1 billionaire a few years back. And as I'm into the third interview, I'm thinking they're all talking about the same things that made them successful. All of them had to have started with nothing, and they had to be worth over 200 million. That was their criteria. And in fact, two of them were the Shark Tank people, Kevin Harrington, Barbara Corcoran. And so I interviewed them all, and these traits kept popping up. And the first one is pretty simple, desire. So most people have a desire to change. They have a desire to want more in their life, whether it's they want to feel better, look better, make more money, get a better job, whatever it is, they have a desire to have more in their life, to enjoy life more. But you see people that get started in something, they go join the gym. Maybe 6 weeks later, they've dropped out, 90% drop out. They go on a weight loss program, January 1. 2 weeks later, they drop out. They go to an event, learn how to be an entrepreneur, learn how to make more money, learn how to start a business, do nothing. And I thought, that's kind of weird, isn't it? They have the desire to change and they actually take some action, but they don't follow through. And so desire has to come from inside you. And I believe all of you have it. You wouldn't be here on this Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, wherever you may be, or Saturday evening, maybe. So desire is number one. Nobody can manufacture that for you. You have to do it yourself. Number two, which I think is so, so important, probably the foundation for everything. People go out and set goals. They do vision boards, they project out, they do short-term, long-term goals. But you know what? Goals are out there in the future someplace. I'm going to accomplish this by this time. So that's out in the future someplace, which is fine. But what causes that goal to actually happen is the foundation before you set the goal. And that's the decision. And the decision has to be 100% non-revocable. It has to be a decision that nothing less than that will do. See, when I started in that direct sales business, I said to myself that evening, looking at the opportunity the first time, I said, I can do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get rich doing it. And that I felt that I just owned that inside me. So the decision has to be 100%. If a decision was complete circle, let's say, well, most people leave just a little bit of an opening in that circle, and that's their escape route. That's the reason it didn't work. That's their excuse. It was raining, I couldn't make sales calls, or I couldn't come up with the money. I couldn't do this or couldn't do that. I couldn't get things happening on time. Whatever it was, I can't find people. I talked to 10 people, nobody wanted to join me, whatever it was, So you've got to have that decision that backs it up, that nothing less than that will do. Why did I talk to 3,650 people? Well, I got good at one thing, rejection. I got good at talking to people. So there's a lot of benefit to it. But I didn't quit. So make the decision, make the foundational decision before you set the goal. Because here's what happens based on our old programming and the programming that happens within the first 6 years of somebody's life. We want to be happy, we want to have fun, we want to learn new things, we want to be loved, just like we do as adults. But negative things interfere with that. Abuse, circumstances, things that happen, in a child's life, and they learn to suppress those things. And as they suppress them, they're a little less happy. If they suppress a negative, you're a little less happy. And you carry that right into adulthood, and you don't even know that you're still carrying that stuff around. So, but what we do typically, what causes us to back off, take action and then not follow through, is fear. And you hear people say you got to bust through fear, you got to do this with fear. Well, fear's interesting. Fear is self-created. We make a decision as to what we want to do in our life, we set the goal, and then we turn around and make up a fear to keep us from getting it. And that fear is coming from your past programming saying, hey, you're not worthy of this, you can't accomplish this. It's that self-talk that's taking place. So you got to look at fear for what it is. It's something you made up. just like you made up the story about what you want to accomplish. So make the decision, own it, and make no excuses and keep moving forward, no matter the circumstances, because you don't know if the next person you meet, the next networking group that you get into, the next person you meet at anywhere, online or off, could be the one that changes everything for you. So decision is so important. The third thing is you got to take action. And I've met so many people over the years that are getting ready to get going. They're getting ready to get going as soon as I get my website up, I can start my business. Well, what could you do today before you get your website up? Yeah, maybe you need that, but what could you do today to get it going? Because there's always something you can do today. I've heard people say, well, I got to get my business cards before I can go contact people. My answer to that, become memorable without the business cards. And in today's world, of course, the cell phone, you just exchange things. But a lot of people are getting ready to get going, but they never get going. And they say different things. It's like I'm sitting in the floor with this corporate executive way back then. And he said, Jim, he said, are you going to the convention coming up? And I said, no, I'm too busy. He said, too busy? He said, too busy doing what? Failing? Too busy to listen to people that are better than you are, that have already made it, that's going to share with you how they did it? Too busy for that? I said, well, the timing's just not right. And he said, what does that mean? The timing's not right. He said, the timing's never right for good opportunities. He said, what does that mean? He said, you should show me any highly successful person, they will take that out of their vocabulary, because the timing is never right for great opportunities. You just have to take advantage of them when they come by. God's not going to present you with a great opportunity and check your bank account or your calendar for perfect timing. Then I said, well, the truth is, I said, I can't afford it. And he put his hand in my face and yelled at me. He said, stop. I said, what? He said, your mind just shut down. He said, there's plenty of money everywhere. He said, but you just shut yourself down that you couldn't afford it. He said, are you going to the convention? It's 2 months away. And I said, yes, I'm going. He said, okay. The next night at a meeting, I'm talking to this fellow I'd met a few times. He wasn't a close friend or anything. And he said, you going to the convention? I said, yes. He said, have you already bought your plane ticket? I said, no. He said, I've got my own plane. He said, you want to ride along? I mean, I couldn't believe it. Now I got a private plane. I'm heading off from Oklahoma to Florida. So, it's like miracles take place when you make decisions and you take action. And the next thing you're going to run into when you take action is you're going to experience some discomfort. Do you think it was easy for me, being a factory worker, to go talk to people cold? No, it wasn't. It was terrifying. Now, I got good at it, though. I mean, I got better and better, but I think I got to the point where I just expected to get a no. I just go talk to people I know I'm going to get a no anyway. I'll just go talk to 10 people a day and go home. But you're going to experience some discomfort, because from where you are now to where you want to go, it's going to require stepping out of that. We've all heard it, your comfort zone. It's so comfortable. And that's why people don't follow through, is because they're comfortable in their misery. They're miserable because they want to have more in their life, but they're comfortable in their misery. So they stay where they are instead of experiencing a little bit of discomfort. Which brings up the next point, which I call the power of letting go. You got to learn to let go. I was asked on a panel one time, the number one thing, most important thing that I'd learned over my last 45 years in the speaking and coaching business. And without hesitation, I said, learning to let go. Because we hang on to stuff. We hang on to what happened to us in the past. We hang on to failure. We hang on to the fact that that person said no, the last person we talked to, and we thought they were going to say yes, or whatever. We hang on to those things and we lose our power. because we start to expect that the next one's going to be the same way, because we're carrying that same energy into the next appointment or the next sales call or whatever. I was one of my events a while back. There was a woman, and we're one of the participants, and we were talking, the group, we were talking about financial stability, financial independence as one of our topics. And it was one of my Power of Letting Go event. And I said, what about you? You know, we're talking back and forth. She said, oh, I can never be successful. I said, why? And she said, well, because of my father. She said, my father abused me. I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, he put me down my whole life. From the time I was 2 years old, he told me he didn't love me, pushed me out of the way, talked to me as I grew up, told me I'd never amount to anything or never measure up to your siblings. You're never going to be successful at anything. When you leave here, maybe you'll get a college degree, maybe you won't, but you'll never be successful. You just don't have it in you. She said, right up until I was 18 years old and I left home. And I said, so that's the reason you can't be successful financially and in business? And she said, yes, because of your father, or my father. And I said, well, where's your father now? She said, well, he passed away 10 years ago. I said, oh. I said, well, who's abusing you now? And she said, I don't understand the question. I said, well, your father's not here, so who's abusing you now? She said, I still don't understand the question. I said, well, you think about it for a little bit. And about 15 minutes, I came back by her and I said, did you come up with the answer? She said, no. Another time back, about 15 minutes later, did you come up with the answer? She said, no. And I left again and I said, well, keep thinking about it. Came back the third time and she said, you mean I'm abusing me? I said, I don't know. What do you think? She said, I don't know. I came back a fourth time, and before I even got close to her, she went, oh my God, I'm abusing me. I'm carrying on his legacy. I'm taking what he gave me and using it against myself. And I worked with her for about 5 minutes on letting go, and she did. And literally you could see 10 years come off of her face in 5 minutes. Lines went away. I mean, the audience, everybody saw it. They went, oh my gosh, she looks 10 years younger, because she let go of all of that stuff that she had been hanging on that kept her, trapped in that programming that she grew up with. So we've got to look at ourselves. And I one time I went through a tough time way back, and I thought at one point, I'm not sure that people are even using what I'm sharing. And I just went through a tough time. I actually quit my business. I quit speaking. And this was about 35 years ago. I started off with Jim Rohn as a business partner with Jim Rohn. I started promoting him, and then I started speaking. And 10 years after that is when I decided I can't do this anymore, because I wasn't happy. And I'm teaching people how to be happy and fulfilled and all of these things. And I'm looking at, well, I'm not very happy. I'm divorced. I got 2 kids living in another part of the country. And I think I can't do this anymore. So I spent about 2 weeks in Hawaii. And all I took with me, I didn't take a notepad, I didn't take a journal, I didn't take a book, I didn't take anything. I just took a towel and some shorts and t-shirts and a few items, and took a hike on the north shore of Kauai, 11-mile hike, stayed on the beach. And I thought I was just going to hike in and out in one day, 11 miles in, 11 miles out. I didn't even get all the way one night. I had to sleep halfway on the first 11 miles. But what came out of that, I stayed on the beach for multiple days, probably 5-6 days. And I didn't have food. I only had 1 bottle of water. I drank water out of a waterfall, which was pretty good. And things happened there because I got away and I started looking at myself instead of reading a book to try to fill my head with something else. I started to look at myself. And that's where my book Rings of Truth that's a free giveaway here. You'll read about that. That's the first chapter is that and that trip and what came out of it. But when I came back was really a life-changing experience one day. I walked into the bathroom, and as I'm walking back out, there's a big mirror. And I stopped and I looked in the mirror at myself. And I tried to look into my own eyes. Try this sometimes. It's not that easy. And I looked at my own eyes, and within seconds I would look away. And I'd look again, and I'd look away. I'm going, what's up with that? And I kept looking and looking away. And finally, I put my hand up against a mirror, put my face up there about this far away. And I said, I'm looking in my own eyes. And I did. And I kept staring into myself. And it was almost like you get a glimpse of your soul or something. It was a unique experience. And then these questions started popping in my mind. What was it like for my wife having a husband like me? What was it like for my children then and now having a father like me? What was it like for people, those 3,650 people I spoke to? What was it like for them meeting me? What was it like for an audience to have a presentation from somebody like me? See, if we look at ourselves, we learn things. And certainly we learn things looking outside ourselves, but the answers for most of what we need in our life and what we want to accomplish is inside ourselves, not outside. Just like the woman with the programming. Another guy, it was interesting. I was coaching him and first session, and he had 8 sessions, and he paid $20,000 for 8 sessions. So 15 minutes into the first session, I said, so what's going on in your life? And he goes, well, I'm struggling financially. And I said, well, how long have you been struggling financially? He said, 25 years. I said, really? I said, why? He said, I just haven't been able to pay my bills fully or on time each month for 25 years. And I said, well, you're programmed to do that. And he said, what? I said, yeah, you're programmed to do that. I said, but do you want to change? He said, well, I plan to. I said, well, what are you going to do? He said, well, I've decided I'm going to cut my overhead. I said, well, there's nothing wrong with cutting your overhead. But I said, if you don't figure out what's causing you to not pay your bills on time for the last 25 years, you'll cut your overhead, nothing wrong with that, but pretty soon you'll still have an overhead that you can't pay your bills on time and fully each month. And he said, how do you know that? I said, because you're programmed to do that. And I said, and if you don't let that go, if you don't work on that, I said, you'll spend the rest of your life not being able to pay your bills on time or fully each month. And we got more deeper into that. I won't go into all the details, but we got deeper into that and helped him let go. We discovered the problem, which was an interaction with his father over the years. And we were just 15 minutes into it. And he said, I just got chills from head to toe. He said, I got it. And I got it on a deep level. I know what I'm doing wrong. I can fix it. He said, oh my God, this is it. And he said, I don't need another session. I don't need to finish this one. I don't want to waste your time or mine. I got my money's worth. I'm done. 15 minutes into it. But see, most people never look inside. So that's kind of my whole thing, is helping people look inside. That's why I call it the power of letting go, because you regain your power instead of hanging on to stuff that's taking you nowhere except in a course that you don't want to take. So letting go is so important. I'd invite you to think about something right now that's holding you back in life, maybe financially or personally, it doesn't matter. Something that a major issue that you're dealing with. You don't have to share it, but just a major issue you're dealing with. Think about that. What would you feel like if that went away, if it disappeared, if you no longer had it? How would that feel? Imagine that. Now I want to ask you some questions. Question number one, can you see any reason to hang on to that isn't harmful or stressful to you in your life? Any reason it's not harmful or stressful? If you can't see a reason, I'll go to the next question. The next question is, do you want to let it go? Do you want to let it go? The answer is, well, if your answer is yes, I do want to let it go. Most people do. I'll go to the next question. This is a tougher question. Are you willing to let it go? Because when I go to the next question, you're no longer going to have an excuse for hanging on to it. Are you really willing to let it go? And I've asked that question to thousands of people. And sometimes you'll get people say, well, let me think about it for a while. Or maybe after lunch, or maybe tomorrow I'll sleep on it and decide to let it go or not. You see, we hang on to stuff, especially resentment and things like that about other people, because we think it's hurting them, but it's not. Or we think we're hanging on to that failure we had in the last business and we lost all of our money. We feel like if we hang on to that, we'll never do it again. Not true. If you hang on to that, you're going to do it again, because that's what you're putting out to the world. That's the feeling you put out to the world. I once produced a television infomercial. I spent $1 million on it, just over $1 million. And it was beautifully produced. That's where I went around and interviewed 12 mega millionaires. And with a program like that, you know almost in a heartbeat whether it works or not. So we put it on the air, multiple locations, didn't pull. I thought, well, maybe I'll tweak it a little bit. So I took a couple of tweaks, not much, and I put another 50,000 into it and put it on the air again. It didn't work. Then I get a call from someone, introduced himself as Kevin. He said, I'm in the infomercial business. He said, I just watched your show. And he says, that is the most amazing show, the best produced show that I've ever seen. He said, it's beautiful. He said, I hope it's successful for you. Congratulations. And I said, what's your name again? He said, Kevin Harrington. I said, thank you very much. I didn't know who he was. And we exchanged numbers and email addresses. And I called my brother-in-law later, and I said, I got this guy that called me. My brother-in-law was the one booking the media for me. And I said, this guy called me and congratulated me on the program. And he said, who was it? I said, Kevin Harrington. He said, Kevin Harrington? He's the biggest in the infomercial business. He says he's one of the Shark Tank guys. He said, oh my God, he called you? And I said, yeah, he called me. I got his number right here. Really? Wow. So, and now Kevin and I are good, close friends. And so there's a lot of kind of weird things that happen that put you together. And so letting go is so powerful when you really get behind it. And then the last thing is or next to the last thing really is to stay the course. Stay the course. Don't quit. The next call you make could be the one, the next person you meet. And I think we're all students, we're all teachers, and we can all learn from each other, just like in a networking group. You never know where an idea is going to come from. I've gotten ideas from my children. In fact, I wrote a book, What I've Learned from My 6 Sons. And it's amazing things what you can learn. I mean, kids probably know a heck of a lot more than we do. My 10-year-old, when he was 10, he's grown now, but when he was 10, came into a room one day at my office. He said, Dad, he said, would you buy me this game gear, which is a little thing that you played games on before they had Xbox and all that. I said, how much is it? He said, $118. And I said, I'll pay half. He looked at me and he said, I don't have $59. I said, figure it out. And he leaves kind of sad looking, like I'm not going to buy this for him. He leaves. It wasn't an hour later, came in with a brown paper bag and a red heart drawn on it. And it said, Mr. Britt's cookies. And he said, Dad, you've had Mrs. Fields cookies, right? I said, yeah. He said, they're pretty good, aren't they? And I said, they're very good. And he said, they're about this big. And I said, yeah. He said, okay, I'm going to make cookies this big. And hers cost 75 cents, the last we bought. And he said, they're going to cost $1. And I'm going to go sell cookies and earn that $59. I said, where are you going to sell them? He said, around the neighborhood. I said, so what are you going to do? You're going to go take orders and come bake them? Or are you going to go bake them and go sell them? Or how are you going to do this? He said, I'm going to go around, take orders, collect the money, and then deliver the cookies. And I'm thinking, is anybody going to give that 10-year-old, he says he's going to pay a dozen would be $10. So he give him a little bit of a break. Is anybody going to give that kid $10 for a dozen cookies? And they don't see the cookies yet. So my mind was saying, there's no way, but he'll probably learn from this. Well, guess who learned from it? I did. It was about an hour after that, I smelled cookies. I go out in the kitchen, I go, what are you doing, Warren? He said, I borrowed the money from Mom to buy the ingredients. I'm going to pay her back out of some of my proceeds. And he said, I'm baking my first dozen cookies. And I said, you already sold them? Yep, got the money right here. And I said, can I have one? He said, yep, for $1. So that went on for the first 3 days. He made, I think it was around $180. I don't remember the exact figure, but it was up there in 3 days. And he continued that cookie business. And he did Super Bowl cookies, Thanksgiving cookies, Christmas cookies, Halloween cookies, he would take orders for the next ones. And so pretty amazing, but you never know who your teacher is going to be. So I learned a lot from that. And he said one day, he said, Dad, I don't know what the big deal is about money. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's so easy to earn. I said, yeah, sometimes. And he said, well, it seems to me if you just find something that somebody wants and needs and sell it to them, and you'll make all the money you ever want. Pretty cool, huh? So can't remember when my time is up, Tim. Is it getting close?
Yeah, another 5-10 minutes.
Okay, that's perfect. So the last thing I want to share with you, and I love sharing this because I think it's so important with what we do in life. This was an experience I had about 35 years ago that really changed everything for me, and really brought about my Power of Letting Go program. And it was a conversation I had with a friend of mine. We read some of the same books, and we were on the phone one day discussing one of the books that we'd read. We spent an hour or so going back and forth and ideas and kind of learning from what each of us had gained from reading parts of the book. And right before we hung up, he said, hey, Jim, he said, do you know what the word resourceful means? I said, I don't know, man. I said, maybe, being more, using your imagination or being more productive. I said, I don't know why. He said, well, it's just an interesting word. And I said, yeah, I guess so. That was it. We hung up. A few hours later, I'm driving home and I couldn't get it out of my mind. What does the word resourceful mean? It just kept going over and over and over in my mind. And of course, we didn't have Google, or I couldn't look it up anywhere. So I get home and I go to the dictionary and I look up resourceful. And it's defined as once again full of source. Once again full of source. I was going, wow, that's kind of cool, depending on what you think source is. And then I looked up the word source. And the definition was where all things originate. It didn't say some things, it said where all things originate. And I went, wow, That's pretty powerful, again, depending on what you think source is. And I had some books come in the next day at the bookstore. So I went down to the bookstore and I said, do you have an origin of words or something I could look where a word came from or how it was created? So I looked in a book, couldn't find it. He looked in two other dictionaries, two different types of dictionaries, found the same definition basically. And I was a little bit obsessed with it. Everywhere I'd go that there was a place I could look, I did. And I was over in England about a year and a half later and presenting an event. I had a couple-hour break. I'm out for a walk and I see a building with a little sign on the back door that said antique books. And I go, wow, antique books. I love antique books. And so I walk in the back door. And the first thing I see is a dictionary, looked like it was about 8-10 inches thick, old, kind of tattered around the corners and stuff. And I wished I'd looked at the publication date. I didn't, but I don't know how old it was. But it had a sign on it that said, do not open. And of course, I justified that by thinking that that's probably for people in the UK, not for me. And I guess I was prepared to buy it if I ruined it or something. So I carefully opened it and looked up the word source. And I saw, again, some similar things. And then one definition popped out at me. It said source, love. I went, wow, once again, full of love. Resourceful is once again full of love. I thought, So I left the bookstore and I kept out on my walk and I kept thinking about that. And I thought, how does that apply to a person's life, a person's business? How does that apply? And the more I thought about it, suddenly hit me. I thought, wow, when you make a decision to do something, you fall in love with it. And when you fall in love with something, that creates a passion to keep it moving. And I thought, that's it. That's so powerful. Once again, full of love. What have you fell in love with that you're doing now? I walked a little further and I thought, wait a minute, there's a little flaw in that. And I couldn't quite figure it out. I thought, if everything originates in love, where does fear come from? And I thought, that's a flaw. And it disappointed me for a minute. I'm going, that's weird. It's got to be an answer to that. And suddenly it hit me. I thought, oh, I get it. We fall in love with fear. See, we create it out of love because everything comes out of love. That's the foundation for everything. So once again, full of love, then we create a fear that out of love that takes us away from what we wanted to fall in love with in the first place. So if you find yourself not moving forward, realize that you've fallen in love with fear. And anyway, that's pretty much wraps up what I want to talk about here. The Rings of Truth, I would suggest that you pick up that book. It's free here. And it is, I would guarantee you that it's going to be in your top 5 books you've ever read, if not the number one. And for most people, it's the number one. It's so powerful. It's my story. It's lengthy. It's about 367 pages. And it has one fictional character in it. So I'd say it's 95% true. And the fictional character, I'm not sure, but what that character was true as well. But you'll have to figure out which one it is. You'll think there's 2, but there's only one. But it's a powerful book, and I encourage you all to read it. I think you'll love it. And also, I have another series. How would you like? I know a lot of people here are coaches and speakers. How would you like to be in a book series that's endorsed by Tony Robbins, that has Brian Tracy that's written the foreword for it? Well, we're in our 19th volume now of, you can't see it's backwards, I guess, but Cracking the Rich Code, endorsed by Tony Robbins. We have over 380 in our community of co-authors and just an amazing group of people. But if you're interested in learning more about that and possibly being one of our co-authors, it's a great branding tool. It's a great attention getter. It's a great credibility piece. It's a great thing to help you stand out as that expert in your field, that key person of influence. We just get amazing results with it. We have a mastermind that goes along with it. But that's anyway, if you'd like to know more about it, you can always email me at jimbritt@jimbritt.com, and happy to chat with you about that. And other than that, it's a pleasure being here. Thanks, Tim. I enjoyed it, and hope you gained one little idea or someplace.
I think we did. That was great information as always, Jim. I appreciate you coming on today. That's awesome. Thanks, guys, for coming in and sharing. And we're going to jump into our next session. And at the end of this, we've got another bit of breakout time that we're going to get into. And for any Q&A and questions that you've got, or observations or takeaways that you pick up from today. But today I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about, what the Great Discovery is really all about. As all of us, whether it's Erin talking about speaking in front of a 1 million person stage, or Jim identifying some of the fears and things that are holding us back, all of those relate to who we are. We're on this because this is a speaker session, and we're here because we want to improve. The Kaizen approach of continuous improvement is really what, I'm not into a lifelong learning. I want to learn enough to get up to be able to reach more people. And that's really our mission. And I think it's probably yours. Yet the monetary side of that is also important. I remember when I first started off with a Great Discovery, before we made such a sizable investment, their initial thing was, hey, it's not about the money, it's about the people. Well, that's true. But then again, the money's got to come, and the money comes from reaching more people, right? It's getting your message out. What do we need to let go of? What's our restraining force? That's one thing I'd like you to ponder as we're going through this next session here, as we go into our next breakout room at the end of the day. What is it that's holding you back that you do need to let go of when it comes to, are you satisfied where you're at? If you're satisfied where you're at and you're reaching all the people that God has given you that gift to get out and empower people, have you reached the amount of people that you need to? That you're going to hear, well done, good and faithful servant, right? Is that what you've really accomplished? And if not, what's holding you back? One of the things that the Great Discovery can do, we can't change your heart, we can't change your focus, we can't do a lot of those things, but we can give you a heck of a platform. And we can give you the facilities to be able to reach out to a lot more people, a lot more effectively. So whether you've seen this for the first time or the 51st time, I'm going to show you something. I'd like you just to pay attention and apply some of the things that Erin and Jim, some of the best speakers in the world are starting to come into the Great Discovery because they see what this is all about. And that's exactly what I'm hoping that you're going to see as we go through this. This isn't a sales pitch. This is an empowerment pitch. Can you afford not to do it? Let me show you a little bit about the Great Discovery as we're going forward here and get this thing up and rolling. We're here on our speaker training summit with the Great Discovery. I think you guys all get the gist of what this is all about. And I appreciate each and every one of you. It's a summit, it's moving up. You're trying to get up there and get to the point of where you need to be. Great Discovery helps you to do that by eliminating barriers. Those restraining forces that can hold you back. One of the barriers is being able to communicate. We allow you to take your offers, your trainings, your podcasts, sermons, your books, your message, your heart, your passion to people, the entire world in almost any language with unlimited content hosting, and there's no added cost for translation. That's something that we had to set aside. We had to step back and say, okay, we're going to take that financial hit and make it available instead of waiting for people to translate. It's like, hey, Sandra and I said, no, we're going to cover the cost. We're going to cover your translation cost. Your content is freely translatable. Doesn't cost you a nickel or the learner a nickel to be able to hear it in their native language. And it's not just for courses. It could be for your next boot camp. It can be for your next summit. It can be anything that's on there. And we're going to help you promote it worldwide. You're able to communicate with people two-way, literally over Zoom. Your next Zoom, when you are reaching out to other people, there's no barrier there. If you're working with the Latino community, the Hispanic, the Chinese community, the Korean community, the whatever community that there's been a barrier to you, it's gone. You're able to work with anyone, anywhere. We've got AI tools to help you do things in minutes rather than months. Virtually anything that you've been doing with it, we used to consider our hard work that we had to do to make and get things to happen, if we're still doing that, you're missing the boat. There's tools that the remedial hard work that you've got to do. If you're still doing it, stop it. We've got the solutions that are there. We still need your genius. You still need your genius, and the world still needs your genius. But all the hard work and the lifting can be done by AI and artificial intelligence and efficiency systems. So the other part of this is the other hard work that a lot of us work on is how are we going to sell our stuff? So we stop creating what our passion is and what we want to teach and share, and we spend our time going out. How are we going to find more people? Well, you don't. You know, some people have gifts and talents. Some people are gifted natural promoters and they love it. Other people, not so much. You're a gifted natural teacher and you love it, right? Or you're a gifted natural learner and you love it. Maybe you're balanced across the spectrum. But the key with this, the Great Discovery allows you to set your content and forget it, or you can go out and market it too. Either way, you're growing and you're reaching the world. That's the key. If you could actually expand to the entire world rather than your local community, your following, your tribe, as one fellow told me the other day, you know, of who he's working with, he's got his locked in following, the same 20, 50, 100 people. If you want to reach out to that, you've got to expand your vision, right? What's your holdback? Are you happy where you're at? We're going to show you how you can change it. Now, many of you have seen this, you know, but here's just a really quick example of a barrier breaker, being able to communicate with anyone. Here we go. Can you hear me now? Hi, I'm Tim Taylor, co-CEO of The Great Discovery, a new monetized global e-learning platform that connects talented creators and service providers with quality learners and customers in nearly every country and every language in the world. Check out how this platform translates my voice into multiple languages. And hey, get started with this yourself. You are going to love it.
नमस्ते, मैं टिम टेलर हूं, द ग्रेट डिस्कवरी का सह सीईओ। एक नया嗨，我是蒂姆·泰勒，大发现公司的联合首席执行官。这是一个新的。
I mean, you get the gist of it. We can do that in virtually any language. That means that you can communicate your message, your training, your books, your podcasts, any content that you've got. Your market just opened up by the billions, people that you couldn't reach. Here in North America, you're reaching 4% of the world population. What about the other 96% of the world that's outside? Is that it's okay? You can't see them? Well, what if you could empower them too? What if you could expand that? What's that going to do to your bank account, let alone their own ability to improve and live a better life? You've got great knowledge. Everybody on the Great Discovery gets your own marketplace. This is your custom link. Let me give you a quick demo of what this does with our next generation. If you're seeing this, I know we had a couple of folks that are on here. Stewart's was on 2 years ago when we first came out with the Great Discovery course. There was nothing like this on there. Now take a look.
So now I'm actually going to give you an overview of the platform, first showing you the digital products marketplace, and then how to upload courses and sell courses in multiple different languages on the platform. So this is the homepage of the Great Discovery. And if you scroll down here, you can see all the different product categories that we have. We have channels or community groups on the Great Discovery. So if you want to build a membership community, you can do so on the Great Discovery. And then we have our different courses, ebooks, seminars, workshops, and coaching programs down here. You can separate by category. You can separate by original language or translated language, by creator, and by skill level. If we come up here and we go to browse courses, I can search for courses, let's say about podcasting. I can find a course like this on podcasting, go into the course, begin the course, listen to it originally in English.
Hey everybody, welcome to Podcast Fast Start.
And then if I'd like to change the language of the course, I can simply click in the top right-hand corner on Select Playback Language, select the language I'd like to play it back into, for example, French, and now listen to this course in French.
Start. Si vous souhaitez créer un podcast et que...
Or I could choose a different language. In this example, let's say Italian.
Ciao a tutti, benvenuti a Podcast Fast Start. Se vuoi creare un podcast e non sai da...
So this is the only platform that has the voice translation embedded directly into it, allowing you to take courses no matter what language that course is originally translated into. So you can upload courses in English and have them translated into every language, or you could take courses from people in other countries who speak other languages and have them translated in English. So now you can learn from people who you've never had access to learn from before. Now moving on to creators. Uploading courses on The Great Discovery is incredibly easy. On some platforms, you have to basically be a web designer in order to upload your courses. But on The Great Discovery, you simply come to My Courses, Onboard Courses, and select Onboard a New Course. It will then walk you through a templated process, which you simply fill out the selected areas. And then once you do, it will automatically create all the landing pages and checkout pages for you. Here's an example of one of my courses live on the platform. It's a YouTube for Beginners course, and this page was automatically created once I filled out the template. It has the title of the course, the cover image for the course, the video for the course, the what you'll learn section, the course content section, the requirements of the course, and then below it promotes other courses that I have, like this SEO course here. This is a free course that anybody can download. You see I have over 109 learners on it, and I have 8 reviews which are displayed here at the bottom of the course. So that's what I love about The Great Discovery is they make, one, being an affiliate incredibly easy and incredibly lucrative, and they make being a creator incredibly easy as well, because you simply follow the template and then your courses are automatically made available for people all over the world, no matter what language they speak.
So what do? You can put anything. Many of you are life coaches. Some people are specialists. Robert Butlin's a network specialist. He knows how to connect to people, right? Whatever your gift, whatever your talent, we've got a category for it. And if we don't, we'll create one. It's as simple as that. Everything on the site, every bit of content, all of your PDFs, all of your video material, all of your language, everything that you're doing, your live broadcasts are available in up to 120 languages. We're talking all of it, no added cost to the learner. Nobody does that. It's not available anywhere else. There's some subtitles that you can get. There's paid translations that you can get. Here, you're literally available to anybody that has the internet is within your reach. All of your printed materials, every course, every page on the site is geolocated. They open in Japan, they're going to see it in Japanese. If your course isn't available in Japanese yet, they click a button and it's available in Japanese for them. Simple as that. And it's very highly accurate as well. The way that we work this is, Erin was talking about it early on, it's know, like, and trust. You can't do that in a 20-minute stage presence. You can't really do it effectively in an hour-long stage presence. It takes a period of time. So what did both Erin and Jim do? They both gave you free courses. Why? Because it helps you to get to know them. You know that they know their stuff. They're building their reputation and their credibility with you by doing that. And when they give away the course, they're coded to the person that shared it with them. The idea with a freebie course is it's just that. It's going around the globe. People share it. They opt in. It's impulse. Yeah, I'll check this out. What do they have to lose? It's also drawing market attention to you. It's 24/7 global advertising that doesn't cost you a dime. And it's leading them to what we call your qualifier course. This is a low-end feeder course. It's monetized. Why is it monetized? Because it does 2 things. One, it qualifies that free customer that, yes, they're a real person that's willing to spend a little bit of money on your offer. And second, it drives the affiliates to, because they're driving traffic, they get a revenue share off of that little sale. So people in Kenya, people in Indonesia, people in Mexico, people in Chicago are sharing your material, and they're getting compensated by doing it. Not just them, but their entire community. Everything is linked together. In this particular aspect, this qualifier course, you're getting a 30% royalty no matter what, on who sells it anywhere in the world, and 70% goes into the affiliate plan. We skew it that way so that affiliates are motivated to drive you traffic. That's not your upsell. That's your traffic. That's qualifying. You're dealing with real people. Now, you can be on both sides. You can market and promote your own content. If you love to do that, fantastic. You can get paid on both sides, but it leads to your upsell. Your upsell is going to be your full service coaching. It can be your book. It can be your 6-month plan. It can be your interactive teaching, your service or product offer. We're not limited by any means to just courses. It's like, I don't have a course. Well, why not? Well, 1, it takes a lot of time to create a course, and 2, I like to do everything live. Fantastic. Bring your live content, bring your next summit, host it through the Great Discovery, make it available worldwide. You're compensated on all of it. So the way that goes, you can set it up as an academy course, or you could set it into your channel, kind of like you do on Spotify. You're broadcasting, you're streaming, you're doing everything through the Great Discovery. It's available worldwide in any language. And the way that the revenue share works on that is it flips 70% to you as a creator royalty. You're always paid no matter who sells it. and 30% into the affiliate plan. And remember, you can do both. That's content in your channel or in your academy. All right, so let's go back to that equation again. It's like, Tim, I don't have time to create a course. Well, sure. Now we've got AI tools that will create it for you in minutes rather than months. The biggest obstacle most of us have is, I've got it all up here. I have no idea how to put it out there and make it engaging. That's done for you. It's solved. It's over. If you're still holding on to that limiting belief, you're going to be stuck. The solution is in your fingers right now. But the better part of it is also you can still do all of your live content. Everything that you're up and doing, only do it bigger with a greater reach. A branded channel is one way of doing that. You've seen them, Spotify, YouTube, everybody's got a channel these days. Well, the Great Discovery channel is better. Why? Because you can host blogs, trainings, webinars, podcasts, digital product sales, and it's all instantly available in 120 languages. Got a great podcast? Excellent. You got 50,000 viewers on it? Great. What if you opened that up and added 119 other additional languages to it? What's that going to do? It'll make a big bump right there. What if you've got a network of people in 200 countries and territories promoting it in native language? That'll make a huge bump for you. It's all about access. We provide access and we provide people promoters to make it work. We're talking multiple offers that you can have in your channel. You can have some content, it's free global access. Other content, you might have limited access where they have to pay a monthly fee. You might have a single sale course that's up there or a single sale service. You could have a $50,000 sale on there. Once they go through the funnel, they've got to know you well enough, they may well opt in on it. Any other service, anything, ongoing monthly subscriptions, it's all handled for you. You can use your own Zoom in this. You don't need a special account. You embed it in there, use the same channel you've always been doing, and we give you two-way live audio translation, and you can put customizable call to action buttons underneath it. That's pretty cool. Zoom doesn't do that, but we do, and with Zoom. So I think they've been talking to us recently. Kind of interesting how that works. Now, payments are processed through the TGD platform, and royalties are paid to you weekly. That means you don't even need a merchant account. You're just getting started. You want to make a big splash and get out there. You know, merchant accounts are difficult these days. You can get Stripe that's fairly limited, but when you want to get into big volume, what do? It's done for you. You don't need to worry about it. And a 70% rev share on everything to the channel goes to the channel owners and 30% to the affiliate plan. Guys, this is a global affiliate plan that's done for you, that you don't need to manage, that you don't need to do anything. You set your content, forget it, you cash your checks and deliver services. That's what it all comes down to. You don't have to track all the affiliates. You just get your reports, you run them in through a CRM that's included with this. Everything that Kajabi can do, everything that Go High Level can do, everything that Udemy can do, all those different types of promotional tools is all in here and 10 times more. It's everything you could ever imagine. Live Zoom two-way Zoom translation. We already saw that. You can listen, learn two-way audibly in 41 different languages. Global business tools. What we're talking about is you can listen to anything on the internet in any country. You want to go, well, listen to Japanese news and hear it in English, turn it on, click it. If you're on Chrome, you can listen to it. Not just read it, not the subtitles, but listen to it in your language. You have a suite of AI genius apps to assist in marketing, content creation, learning, business management, virtually anything else that you need. The power of it, everything is there. You want to create a video, you can do it in 3 minutes. Literally 3 minutes, you've got a video that's marketable that you can post as a short on YouTube, Facebook, or wherever. You want to create an extended video, you can do it in a half an hour. You're done, you're up and ready. Every video that we have on our site that's a corporate one was created by or through the AI Genius Club system. Full CRM, you got that on Go High Level. We've got a CRM that's included with this as well as funnel builders. Click, point, shoot, funnel, done, ready to go. Videos, tools, everything on it, linked to a CRM. What does that cost you? A lot with other platforms. Anything else that you need, image creators, book writers, it's all done, all in one spot. You don't need to learn 1,000 prompts. It's 75 different apps custom coded to exactly what you need as a content creator and marketer. It's all there. There's nobody that even comes close with these tools. unlimited access to exclusive club content. You're getting 10% savings on everything on the site, and it keeps you up and active for overrides. The important part with a great discovery is this: you're a creator. Someone's promoting your content. What if you refer someone onto the Great Discovery to see your own course and they see another course by Jim Britt? Cool, you get paid on that too. And anyone that ever comes through unlimited communities and relationships, even spanning the globe, you have 1 million people and you don't know 99.99% of them, or what language they speak, or what currency they're paying in. Every time they buy something, a subscription, learn something, share something, you're getting paid something every time, no matter what. We give you an AI creator lab. And what's the biggest setback that we have as creators? It's like, how do I get it out of here and onto there? We know that. It's been a restrainer for all of us. If it's not, well, you're a genius or something, and you've got way too much time on your hands, because you're spending a lot more time doing stuff you don't need to do anymore. What you got is a AI-assisted design, creation, formatting, and onboarding of courses with video, translatable curriculum, quizzes, exams, gamified certifications at the end of it. And you can do it in minutes, not months. Formatted, ready to go. It's all custom designed. You can use it on the Great Discovery or any other platform. You don't have to use it here. You can use it all anywhere. Want to create a book? You know, Jim Britt's written 15 books. That's a lot of books, a lot of time. Jim, you have way too much time on your hands, because he could have taken those concepts, still his genius, still his seed, his plant, his passion, and put it out and have it reformatted, all done, ready to publish in an hour. Then he just needs to review it and edit it. We're talking covers, preface, everything done, laid out and formatted, ready to get up and going. That's something that's phenomenal. Better yet, this is one of my favorite things. You can repurpose your content that you've used years ago. You got a book that you've written that's no longer selling so hot here in the States. It's brand new content to people in developing economies. You can take that, convert it into an audiobook one time. It takes you about an hour, and you can go out and format that. It's available in 120 languages. You've got a new profit center. You've repurposed mothballed information that you can now get out around the world, and there's a lot more you can do as well. Many of you know Dr. Stan Breakthrough Harris. We're just now starting phase 3 with all these new tools I just showed you. And we can get in, we don't have time to get into all the nitty-gritty of how they all work, but they work really well. Dr. Stan got started in phase 2, where our focus was, just like many of you, bringing on initial content. Now we're moving into the marketing phase. But here's what his experience was, even then, when we weren't really even marketing.
And having my content on the Great Discovery has been a huge breakthrough for me. On another platform, listen, I make more money in 2 months on the Great Discovery than I have in the last couple years on the other platform. Why? Over the other platform, I'm the only one selling, and it's only in English. Here, I have got a multitude of affiliates who are incentivized to buy, sell, and promote my course, and it's in multiple languages.
So how do you get started with this? Well, it's not $10,000. Sorry for some of you that really want a higher ticket sale. It's not. It's not even $1,000. Anyone can do this. If you can't, you're missing the point. What you're spending right now to market inefficiently, you can do 100 times more at a fraction of the cost. Here's what we're talking about. With a creator and marketing suite, what's included in that is unlimited content hosted, as many blogs, as many podcasts, as many courses, as many videos as you need. Your content is translated at no cost to you in up to 120 languages. You get the channels, you get the AI Genius Club, all the marketing tools, 75 different applications, AI Creator and Author Lab, all done for you. Moreover, you're not talking to a little tutorial video or something you got to read endlessly when you go on some of these sites. You get essential creator training and live coaching that's available virtually every day. You're not talking to a bot, you're talking to people that are walking you through it as you're going on to it. Essential strategy training, how to lay this out. If you've never worked internationally before, it's better to learn by the success of others than learn by your own mistakes. It's a fact. And we give you ongoing coaching with that. Marketing training, you want to market? We got you. We're going to show you exactly how to create funnels and tools and systems, how to leverage them, how to do it. And it's ongoing, it's free training, it's available on an ongoing basis. Why do we do that? Because we get paid. If you don't sell anything, we don't make any money. We want you making money so you can be assured we're going to do our utmost to make sure that you've got the tools that you need to sell the heck out of your content. And that's what we do. That's why we're providing this live services. Affiliate enrollment is all there at no extra cost. Total cost in this, $649 in the States. It drops as low as $325 in the developing market. There's $99 a month on the optional. That's getting all these different things. It's optional. You don't have to have it. But here's the thing. 3 and you're free. You refer 3 others that are creators, teachers, educators. Somebody who's got like the Mr. Britt's cookies. They want to put those up there. You can put that cookie course up there, you know, and he's all up and going. 3 and you're free. You're getting your $649 back with 3 referrals. You're also getting your $99 a month waived. The whole thing is free and you're up and making money just by helping 3 other people do this. Can you do that? Yes or yes? Of course you can. There's nothing like this in the world of e-learning or even digital marketing, period. Nothing like it. Best part, right here on this event, you're getting $499 setup. You're saving $150. One time, you're up $649 down to saving $150. That's up until June 30th. Got 2 days left on that to be able to take advantage of it. But hey, it's like you're not really into the creator side. Let me show you something from the marketer side. You know, if you're looking for something that you can do, maybe you are that gifted marketing person. You don't know really where you can go. Take a look at this. This is an automated perspective of what you can do as an affiliate with the Great Discovery. Check this out. All automated. You don't do anything. And the key with it is you can market anything that you're passionate about, any course, any content. Check this out.
If you're confused, frustrated, and fed up with all the overhyped promises of how to make money online, you're not alone. Here's something exciting, easy to start, and new that makes perfect sense and makes a positive difference in the world. To grow your income online in today's world, you need 3 things. First, a replicable marketing system that doesn't require you to reinvent the wheel. Second, a product people actually want, one that you don't have to create yourself. And third, a way to scale globally without complexity and without having to hustle 24/7. It's kind of like owning a franchise. The branding is done. The tools are ready. The system is tested. Your job is simply to plug in, promote, and grow, all while helping people all around the world access skills that can change their lives. Now, there are other ways you could try to do this. You could build everything from scratch. Spend months learning funnel builders. Watch YouTube tutorials on AI content creation. Join affiliate programs that leave you figuring everything out alone, or spend thousands on coaching programs that leave you more confused than when you started. But most of those paths lead to the same place: frustration, burnout, and little to no income. Which is exactly why we created the Affiliate AI Business Pack inside the Great Discovery. This is a complete business system you can launch in under an hour. In fact, you're watching part of the funnel right now. When you get started, you'll get access to over 50 customized AI tools to assist you in doing things in minutes that used to take months. We're talking about instant video creation and editing, complete social media campaign builders, website builders, marketing funnel builders, CRM and email autoresponders, chatbots, custom image and avatar creators, 5 terabytes of file storage, daily live online coaching, and much more. And one of the best parts, you'll receive a series of pre-built marketing funnel systems just like this one, each of which are professionally designed and proven to make consistent daily sales on a nearly automated basis. All you need to do is paste in the new affiliate link you'll receive, start sharing your link on social media and elsewhere, and you can start growing your online business and making money in minutes. You'll be invited to attend daily live training sessions, available in multiple languages, to help you develop, refine, and polish your own marketing campaigns. And as an affiliate, there's no limit to what you can promote. You get access to a global marketplace filled with thousands of premium digital courses, products, offers, subscriptions, and live events that can be promoted in nearly every major language and country. This affiliate program also pays out unlike any other. With our unique global revenue sharing model, affiliates can get paid residually on purchases and sales throughout your entire global network community in upwards to 7 different ways. Here's something else that makes this even better. When you refer just 3 people who purchase the Affiliate AI Business Pack, you get your entire startup fee refunded, and your monthly subscription is waived on an ongoing basis as long as you have 3. That means that not only can this entire system be free for you with just 3 paid referrals, but you'll also be making money every month and be qualified for bonuses and revenue sharing on all of their purchases, as well as the purchases of all that come in through them, directly and indirectly through endless relationships. Now, timing here can be very important. You see, when others accept the same free offer that you just accepted to get here, even without buying anything right away, they can automatically be placed in your community. This means that you can be eligible to get paid on the purchases of their extended networks as well, even without any effort on your part. When someone that started before you refers others, the TGD system places them in sequence, one under the other, under the other. So taking action is important because it claims your spot in the system and allows you to start building your team as others join. That means everyone accepting a free course offer through the link that you clicked on, even 1 second after you, can be placed in your network community. And not just them, but everyone that ever comes in through them, anywhere in the world. As long as you have activated your position, you become eligible to get paid on potentially all of their purchases, now and in the future. At this point, you have 2 choices. You can keep trying to piece everything together on your own, spending time, money, and energy hoping something clicks. Or you can plug into a ready-to-use system that's already built, tested, and working for affiliates around the world. Remember, you can get all of these amazing AI tools and revenue-generating benefits for no cost with just 3 paid referrals, and you can cancel at any time. If you're ready to start improving your performance, simplifying your path, and begin getting paid from the sales and purchases of others in a growing worldwide community, your next step is simple. Don't miss out on getting paid on sales by others that may already be in your community. Click the button to join with the Affiliate AI Business Pack. Start improving your performance and getting paid today.
So that right there, that's an AI system created through our system. Same thing. Get the concept, right? As an affiliate, you can simply give out free offers. They're coded into your network. The system does the upsell and they purchase and you're getting paid. They refer others, you get paid on those as well, and it can span the globe. Or you can go out and promote specific summits, including your own, or boot camps or courses or content, and you're getting paid directly on it. It can get very lucrative. What we've created here, like I said, is unlike anything that's out there, period. Where we are is at ground zero in the beginning of what we believe is going to be the most significant e-learning marketplace the world has ever seen. It's starting right here, and you're in the beginning of it, and it's only getting better. Those of you that have seen us from where we started to where we are now, it's like, holy moly, you haven't seen anything yet. Just watch what's going on. You can do all this with the Affiliate AI Business Pack. If you're not a creator, you just want to go out and make money from home, you're in this. You get annual affiliate enrollment, makes you eligible for community overrides, essential affiliate training and live coaching. That's a key component that you're going to see consistently in everything that we do. We want the human aspect in there where you're able to deal with real people. It's not just AI. We use AI to do the menial tasks rather than us doing the menial tasks and somebody else getting paid. We're getting paid, let the machines do the menial stuff, right? That's really what it comes down to. And the AI Genius Club subscription gives you all the tools and done for you marketing funnels that when you sign up, you're ready to go. 1 second after you sign up, you drop your link, you're up and moving. Before you even know what you're doing, you can be making money with this. Total cost, $99 to set up, $59 a month. Again, hey, what happens with that? 3 and you're free. You refer 3 other people, you get your $99 back, and your monthly fee going forward is 0, and you're making money. You're in the black. Limitation here, you can't put content up with this. So if you're going to be a creator, start with the Creator and Marketer Suite. We showed you that on sale right now, $4.99 for event attendees today. $99 a month, refer 3 and you're free. Put unlimited content, any language, have a network of affiliates promoting it, including you yourself if you choose to. Or you can be an affiliate. Just say, I don't want to create content, but I get this. There's thousands of titles, soon to be millions, by some of the greatest creators in the world to empower people worldwide, and you're getting paid on global transactions. Can you do this? What if the systems are doing all the heavy work for you, warrior? I think, what did Erin call it? Sleepy money or some sleep time money or something like that. I love that. That was really cool. That's a great way of looking at it. So to get started with this, one, if you're on and viewing from the Great Discovery website, just scroll down your page a little so you get started. Get started as an affiliate or get started as a creator. If you're not, you're coming in through Zoom or you're seeing this on YouTube Live or Facebook Live or wherever you're at, then just go to the website of the person I referred to, thegreatdiscovery.com/their username. It's their marketplace. When you get there, click on the Join Now button that's right up there and select one of the 2 packs. The Affiliate AI Business Pack, if you're just wanting to go and promote stuff and not really create, or you can get the Creator and Marketer Suite. Now, as an added bonus, what we're doing on this, besides getting it at $150 off today, you're eligible for the Founder Candidate Program. That means when you get started, you're automatically getting paid at the top rank from day one. You don't have to work your way up to it. You're getting paid top rank day one. Moreover, you're eligible for the top 12 producers through this founder period. You're going to be vested in an override of the entire global company. That's just millions of dollars a month in commissions divided among 12 people. How'd you like to get a share of that? In order to be qualified for that, you start with this, get all these benefits, have the potential of becoming a millionaire, unlimited global translation. It's not that hard. I don't know. Just my thought, just my theory on there. But with that, that's really what we've got here today. And I hope you guys have found some value with what we've seen going on here today. This is pretty remarkable, guys. Not only the learning and getting able to get up on a TEDx stage with Erin, some of the takeaways that you got from Jim Britt, all the aha moments that you picked up in the breakout rooms, and we're a community, we're growing, and you guys are a key part of it. In fact, you're part of the foundation of this. It's good to be in first, and that's really where you're at with this right now. What we'd like to do is we're going to take some time now. We're wrapping up on here on our sessions, but we always like to take time for anybody that has any questions.